Back-to-back wins for the Toronto Raptors and back-to-back nights against the same opponent. This one a little bit different than a 36-point win yesterday. The Raptors, a 109-108 win at Scotiabank Arena. Full crowd. Oh, it's so nice to see full capacity crowds back in Toronto. And with the win, the Raptors have not only won back-to-back games, they're 34-27 on the season. And that two-game losing streak by 30 points, and then it was like 25 or whatever the heck it was, against Charlotte and Atlanta, is all in the distant past. The boys bounced back with 2 wins against Brooklyn. And yeah, I get it. No Kyrie, no Durant, no this. I don't care. Raptors didn't have Fred VanVleet, still no OG Anunoby, even though he was questionable tonight, but keep him out, let him rest it up a bit. And the boys made it happen tonight. Like, was it a pretty contest from minute 1 to 48 like yesterday? No, definitely not. They came out of the gate flying. They struggled offensively through the middle frames, but they picked it up offensively in the fourth quarter and defensively locked down. Let's break down this game. First quarter, as I mentioned, they came out of the gate flying. They were up by double digits early on. Everything's going great. And you win the quarter 32-25. You're up by 7 at the end of 1. Okay. In that first quarter, though, now entering the game, Goran Dragic. And the fans rain the booze down on Dragic, and they give him the Vince Carter treatment every time he touches the ball. The booze rain down on him. At one point, he hits a step-back jumper and gives the fans the whole be quiet nonsense. And I'm like, Dragic, you played 15 minutes, pal. You didn't do too much. We had 10 off the bench. You give him double-digit credit. Well, whatever. I don't give a damn because he switched cheese on defense, so I don't care. But the Raptors in that second quarter, the offense goes real quiet, and defensively, you cannot get stops to save your life. And you're minus 11, 34-23 in that second quarter, and you were down by 4 at halftime. Still lots of ball to play. It's a 4-point game. You can still find a way to get into this, and you got to come out of the gate flying there in that third quarter. The Raptors don't. It's back and forth really in that third quarter. And then in the later part of that third, they go on a big run, 11-0 run, I believe it was, to close out the third quarter, except for a Precious Achiuwa little floater to end the third, which might have propelled the Raptors. But then you lose that quarter 30-25, and you were down by 8 at the end of 3 quarters of play. You need a big-time fourth quarter to win this game. You got to lock it down defensively, because in the middle frames, we talked about it in the Atlanta game, where the middle frames, you just got them schooled. In the first and fourth, you did fine. Well, albeit the fourth quarter, you were down by 20 plus, so it really didn't matter. But you won those 2 quarters. You got just throttle in the middle frames. Today it was kind of the same thing, just not to that giant extent. And those corner ones, the first and fourth quarter, you won by sizable amounts. In that fourth quarter, neither team scored for like the first 3 minutes. And I'm sitting here like, fellas, we're down by 8. We need to get a bucket to start the flow going. And then the Raptors start making some shots. Malachi makes a big shot. Thaddeus Young making the corner 3. I mean, my God, he had a couple of those in this game. He was fantastic. And the people yelling about Dragic for Thaddeus Young, you're crazy, he's useless, where does he fit in this team? Masai's stupid, yet, you know what I mean, guys? Well, I'm getting a phone call. Let's just exit out of that. Because everyone thinks they're smarter than Masai and Bobby. I sat in that trade video and I'm like, look, it may not make sense to us mentally right now, but let their madness take fold and let's just sit back and watch and see what happens. I can tell you right now, in the time that Thaddeus Young has been a Toronto Raptor, he has made more of an impact than Dragic did in every aspect. Defensively, the guy plays locked down. He knocked down a couple threes in the game. He was 2 or 3. He was 3 of 3 yesterday. Damn it, the guy's 5 of his last 6 from 3-point range. And his vision defensively, his vision passing the ball is incredible. Thaddeus Young making an impact, guys. And the Raptors make that push, and they get some big-time shots late. Gary Trent Jr. with some big-time shots. big-time free throws. Scotty Barnes, that late shot clock in the corner where he's kind of looking around, sees the clock's expiring, and just kind of chucks it up and drills it. He's jacked up because at that point, that gave the Raptors a 1-point lead, and they did not look back. They win the fourth quarter 28-19 and win the game by 109-108. I mean, albeit, the James Johnson 3 at the end to make it a 1-point game was kind of, meaningless considering that you're up by 4. But so it makes it look a lot crazier being a 1-point game. But either way, the Raptors win this game. They dominate the fourth quarter defensively. They make some big-time shots late in the game. Gary Trent Jr., the ice in his veins at the free throw line, phenomenal. Let's get to these players' stats and break these guys down. Khem Birch! Oh, the man's alive! We talked about it in the last video, guys, how coming out of the All-Star break, the guy has not made a field goal. I believe he was 0 of 3, 0 of 3, and then 0 of 1. And I'm like, man, those little push floaters from Khem, those were money for him last season. He had not been making those this year, and even to start this stretch, he had not been very good. Tonight, whoa! The floaters start going, so it starts getting the putbacks to go, and I'm like, Khem, that's more like it, big fella. 11 points, 5 boards, 5 of 7 from the field, was 1 of 2 from the line. Just made an impact on the offensive end. Great job from Khem. Gary Trent Jr., look, the percentages are a little light, but the impact he made, incredible. 24 points, 2 boards, 7 assists in the game, shot 6 of 17 from the field, so it doesn't look great at all. But I'd say at least half of those were in the fourth quarter when you needed it the most. He was also 9 of 9 from the free throw line. 8 of those in the fourth quarter. I'd say 4 to 6 of those were in the middle, the last minute and a half. The ice in his veins. Yes, the 6 of 17 ain't great. 3 of 9 from 3, not the greatest. And, you look at those and you're like, well, it's not the greatest night for Gary Trent. But if you watch the game and the impact on those field goals that he did make, and 8 of the 9 free throws that he made were in the big-time moments. He had 2 steals in the game. He was a plus 20 while he was on the floor. Gary Trent Jr. was absolutely phenomenal tonight. Pascal Siakam, a better offensive game for him today. The flow was there, but he still looked a little off. There were a few plays where he got in the paint, little lay-ins that he'd been making, right? When he was on this absolute tear, he was making basically every shot. But tonight, the shots weren't falling, but you saw a couple mid-range jumpers that were just kind of like he was just hanging there, and just check up the shot. And he was knocking them down. So the confidence was definitely coming back for Pascal. It's just a 1 game at a time. 18 points, 8 boards, 6 assists in the game for him. Shot 7 of 19 from the field. Was 4 of 4 from the line. Was a plus 15 while he was on the floor. And unfortunately, and the thing that scared everybody was in the final few minutes of this game, when the Raptors were up by 4, I believe, he fouled out. And we're like, okay, so you have no Fred, no OG. Pascal is now fouled out. And it's a 4-point game with like a couple minutes to go. This might get hairy. But the boys got it done. The boys got it done. And Scotty flippin' Barnes, after the ridiculous performance yesterday in Brooklyn, he goes out there tonight. Now, I wouldn't say he had a giant prolific offensive game today, but it was literally everything else. He had 18 points in the game. He had 10 in the first quarter. And so 10 in the first quarter. And then, I think it was like 2, 4, and 2 the rest of the way. But he had 10 boards in the game, 4 assists, including, can we talk about that late fourth quarter no-look feed to Thaddeus Young, who goes up for the big one-handed throwdown? Filthy from Scotty. He makes that shot in the corner in the fourth quarter. He gets a big-time rebound late in the game, huge board, and he gets that giant assist on the Thaddeus Young dunk, which I believe built the lead up to 5 at that time. So Scotty made such a massive impact in this game offensively in the first quarter, but then everything else kind of took full as the game went along. Double-double for him, 18, 10, and 4. Shot 8 of 13 from the field. Was 2 of 2 from the line, and had a steal and a block. Scotty Barnes, phenomenal stuff from the young fella yet again tonight. Back-to-back double-doubles against the Brooklyn Nets, and he looks rejuvenated, right? You knew that he played like triple the minutes he did last year at Florida State. You knew that was a thing, But going into the All-Star break, obviously he was in the Rising Stars game and he was there for the festivities and whatnot. But it's just a time to just not really worry about anything. He comes back, and since he's come back, he's been phenomenal. Absolutely incredible. Now, is this going to continue from Scotty? We'll have to wait and see. But from what we've seen, he's been absolutely incredible. Now, Malachi Flynn, with Fred VanVleet still out, you needed him to make it. The guy played 42 minutes tonight, albeit who's going to play after him, though, right? You know, the minutes for Fred were always through the roof because you didn't have anybody to play. Now, with Malachi playing this well, though, do you give him more of a run when Fred comes back and limit the minutes a bit? That's something to keep an eye on. 15 points for Malachi, 6 boards, 8 dimes, 6 of 11 from the field, was 1 of 2 from the line, 2 of 5 from distance. And we talk about that Hezzy. Oh, my. You can tell I'm all kinds of excited. That Hezzy in that first quarter on Aldridge, that was nasty for Malachi Flynn. Did everything today. 15, 6, and 8. Shot over 50% from the field. Knocked down a couple threes. Defensively, I thought he did a great job on Patty Mills and kept a lot of guys in front of him, and he did a fantastic job than Malachi tonight. I thought he was really, really good. The question is, though, against these bigger guards, when you're facing a guy like Patty Mills, you can kind of hide Malachi because they're about the same height, same stature, whatnot. But when it comes to these bigger guards, it's going to be interesting to see how Malachi performs moving forward. Now, let's get to Thaddeus Young, baby. 11 points in back-to-back nights, 3 boards, couple dimes, 4 of 9 from the field, was 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 of 3 from distance, and made some massive, massive plays down the stretch. 5 of his 11 were in the fourth quarter, in the big moments of that fourth quarter, may I add. Great job yet again for Thaddeus Young off the bench. Making even Precious, didn't have the big game tonight. And Boucher, I think he had like 8 and 6 in the game in 18 minutes. So again, made an impact while they were out there. It's just that when Thaddeus Young was playing at the level he was defensively, and then he's filtering in a couple threes and just really good off-ball stuff. It's just incredible to watch for Thaddeus Young. So a great game from him in this one. And by the way, I wanted to bring up another play. Thaddeus, oh my goodness me, what happened there? That one of Thaddeus Young's threes, it was Malachi up top, and he drives, and it just was a bullet pass over his shoulder to the pocket, right in the shooting pocket of Thaddeus Young, and drills it. So that's 2 guys that basically we're basically new seeing really lately, and they connected well, and they made a huge impact. So great job from all these guys tonight. Team stats, they shot 50% from the field and 40% from three-point range. And also 74% from the line. They shot the ball really well. The Raptors, 46% from the field, 30% from 3, 80%, 87% from the line, so a great job there. But those numbers suggest the Raptors should probably have lost this game. But the big thing, and we've learned this all year long with the Raptors, if they're active on the glass, they will get these extra opportunities, and they may not be pretty. They may find a way to make those shots count. Percentages-wise, not the greatest, but the opportunities are there. Raptors were plus 11 on the glass in the game and plus 9 in the offensive glass. So they got the extra opportunities. Did they make a lot of them? Maybe not so much, but you made it happen. You got the win on home court in front of the full crowd at Scotiabank Arena. You've won back-to-back contests, and you know why that's so huge? Because you have a guaranteed loss coming in the next game. And that's all jokes, because I'm praying to God it's not. But the way the fiasco with Dwane Casey has gone, the Detroit Pistons have some voodoo over the Raptors' head. And yes, the Raptors do play the Detroit Pistons next on Thursday night, 7:30 tip-off. The Raptors look for their 3rd consecutive victory, look to go 8 games over 500, looking to continue to build their lead over the Brooklyn Nets, and these last 2 wins were massive over the Brooklyn Nets in the standings. I think we have now a 3-game lead, a 4-game lead over the Nets now, something along those lines. But losses-wise, they're a game over 500, and we're sitting here 7 above. So really good job from the Raptors, taking care of business, doing exactly what they needed to do against Brooklyn. Now, Detroit, Thursday, do not take that team lightly, and please, can we beat Dwane Casey and the Pistons? It seems like it's such a tall task. And it definitely is. It's at least shown to be. Can we please make it happen this time? 7:30 tip-off, Scotiabank Arena, in front of a full crowd. It's going to be a lot of fun, all right? So, you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the game this evening, smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. You guys are not already. Comment down below thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game day for the Toronto Raptors? The Twitter link is down below, so follow up, send me a DM to like great stuff. The Instagram link is also down below, so follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, Leafs Edition on tomorrow night. Who the heck do they play tomorrow night? I have no idea. Buffalo, home. I got it. Buffalo at home, either 7 or 7:30 at Scotiabank Arena, full crowd in there for the Leafs. And as for the Toronto Raptors, their next contest is on Thursday night, 7:30 tip-off between the Raptors and Dwane Casey and the damn Pistons. Let's go out there and do a job, and please pick up a victory and win your third consecutive game, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the game tonight. We'll talk to you guys then.